sticking it out. Made it after the piano bar last night. Feels earlier than it really is right now. But our talk today is drinking our Kool-Aid. Really, that's just a euphemism for getting your staff to buy in. And what we're going to talk about, really, a lot of the concepts I think are going to seem pretty self-evident, but it still surprises us that there's still places that don't utilize this kind of team approach, as you'll see. And what we're really trying to get across with our talk is empower your staff, get a collaborative environment that's productive, and then leverage that to your advantage when you bring on new technology. So who are we? I'm Matthew Dunham. I'm owner and medical director of Springs Body Sculpting in beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado. Owner and medical director of VKMD Institute of Medical Aesthetics. I'm a founding member and medical director of a medical device company. And I've been in practice in OBGYN since 2007.
I'm Kelsey Dunham, owner and CEO of Springs Body Sculpting, as well as VKMD Institute of Medical Aesthetics. Been in the industry for about 20 plus years, and I was a former director of a skin solutions company as well.
And we're married, if you didn't know.
Yeah, and we're married.
The name is actually not a coincidence. So I have a question for you. What is, in your business, would you consider the most valuable asset you have? It's what you think about the most, it's what you spend the most money on, represents you more than anything, and is literally the difference between your personal success and absolute failure. Anybody know? I knew you were going to say that. But it's your hair. No, just kidding. It's not your hair. I know Kelsey sometimes would disagree with me. But yeah, it's obviously it's your staff. I think everyone knows that. Straightforward.
So that being said, them being your biggest asset, why wouldn't you include them in the decision-making process as you are bringing something new on? They need to know how they are the ones that are most directly impacted, so they really do deserve to have a say and to be heard. And even though we're going to do it anyway, letting them feel valued and validated really does help get their buy-in. They know we value them enough. So we at our office have what we call the tool stool of 3 pillars of success for us in integrating new technology and getting our staff buy-in. We involve them in the conversation. Again, just getting their insight, getting their input, letting them, give their, genuine feedback, inform them, get them trained well, provide them with comprehensive education, and incentivize them. And if you can do that, all 3 of those, you'll get pure indoctrination. And
I do apologize. I could not find a picture of a 3-legged stool, so I had to just do that. So this is not AI-generated talk, just so you guys know. That was as good as I could get.
So the challenge of there is a challenge of getting your staff on board, and it's because new technology does represent a disruption to their current status quo. They are required now to learn a new skill, to talk to patients about something newer than they're used to, and it brings them stress and anxiety. So how do we overcome those objections?
Well, these are 2 definite management styles you could go with, and just from the get-go, I would ask you, which boat do you want to be on? I know which boat I want to be on. So in these pictures, we're going to break them down, and you're going to put yourself in the picture. So here you are, you're the boss. Here's all your employees, right? And there you are, you're George Washington, you're the boss on that boat. So to start with, what's this guy focused on? All you're doing is pounding on your employees, micromanaging, being, because I say so attitude. Are these guys looking productive here? They're not doing nothing. They're too scared to do anything because they don't want to make a mistake. They are not empowered to make any individual decisions. They're sitting there going, man, sucks to be that guy. And he's sitting there going, I'm not doing nothing unless that guy tells me exactly what to do. Now we go over here, look at George. What's he thinking about? Is he thinking about rowing this boat? No, it doesn't look like it. He's not thinking about which iceberg needs to get moved so they move forward. He's got buy-in. Look at the guys. They've all bought into his vision here, and they're all empowered. Each one of them is doing their job as they need to so that he can focus on what they're going to do once they land that boat. So convince them, don't force them. And in a broader sense, your staff can be helpful to you if you just listen to them. So they're valuable, and it's not just I'm listening to you because it makes you feel good. You can get good information, especially when you're looking to bring on a new technology. You can get information regarding what's your actual demand, because they're the ones doing these procedures. They're talking to these patients for 30 minutes at a time. So they can tell you, hey, I've got a lot of questions about whatever, this laser device, and I think there's going to be good demand. They can also help you put together a specific list of your clients that you could sell to right away. They help you create that list. And it's not just my opinion. I actually have data to back this up. Studies consistently show that when you involve employees or staff in these decisions, you're only going to significantly boost your productivity because they get increased job satisfaction, motivation, and organizational commitment, fancy term for buy-in. They take ownership of what's going on at that business because they're part of the decision process. It's kind of obvious. And so with all this back and forth, again, this sounds very basic, but the truth is, when you are sharing and actually listening, you're sharing your ideas and you're actually listening to feedback from your staff, yes, that's good because it's good bonding and all that, but you're creating now a culture in which I looked up here, the picture's not there anymore, but you're creating the culture of Washington's boat. That's what you're creating. And when you're open to their feedback and show willingness, you create this culture where they have bought in so much and this idea has transformed as it moved along between you and them that they start thinking, maybe the idea is mine too. Hence the meme here. It's like, well, you suggested the idea last week and now they've taken it on and they think it's their own.
So why not create champions for the cause? Give them specific tasks that they can take over ownership and be a part of bringing it on and launching it successfully. I always like to say that if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its entire life thinking it's stupid. On that same concept, you put them in an environment where they can thrive, they will get that success for you all on their own when they have that sense of ownership and they are like little fishies swimming in their own water environment.
Yeah, the idea is just play to their strengths. Your staff, some staff are going to be strong in one area and not in others. Put them in a position to be successful. Don't ask the fish to climb the tree. And it makes it easier on you and your staff.
And then treat your staff, treating them early and often. So don't get stingy with consumables. Give them the actual treatments from start to finish. So if it requires a whole series or whatnot, let them do the whole series from start to finish so that they are actually able to have familiarity and ease with the treatment itself. They're able to give the patients their own stories and their own feedback about how this works and what to expect, and bring the patients, ease of anxiety. For me, I have when I do all the consults, I get more feedback from our patients soon to be patients when I do the consult, telling me that because I showed them little areas where I had my incisions or my little poke holes for BodyTite, and they're like, oh, you've had this treatment done? And when they find that, well, I'm actually really glad to hear that because that actually helped me make my decision. So if you got this done and you speak so highly of it and you have gotten such a great result, I'm no longer as nervous to do this. Let's do it. And I get that feedback a lot, that is what ended up helping them make their decision.
And that's kind of talking about this next slide too, about
getting before and after photos for them. So I always tell my staff, facts tell and stories sell. So give your staff their own story to sell to your patients, and they will absolutely take it and run with it. And so if you get staff buy-in, you get patient buy-in, and the overall success. The other thing, investing in your staff learning, taking them to conferences such as this one. We didn't bring our staff, but we have brought them. We have brought them to our conferences. And they love it. It really does give them opportunities to network and connect with their own peers and people in their roles that the kind of roles that they have. It gives them a break from the norm, and it really does rejuvenate them when they come back to the office following Monday and put all of their new learnings to the test.
And then for me, I actually really, really love protocols. I think they're so helpful, and as a medical director, that is my job at our med spa. But protocols really are guardrails for your staff, and they help staff to feel more confident doing treatments that they may not be familiar with, they may not be comfortable with because it's new technology. If your protocols are very specific, they then have that confidence. It gives them that whole warm and fuzzy feeling like, okay, he's not going to let me fail and he's not going to let me hurt somebody. So they can move forward. And obviously, when you're first starting out, your protocol really should be geared towards just making sure it's safe. And with these devices, you have a pretty big safety margin, okay? But stay well within the safety margin when you're designing your protocol, like, for instance, Morpheus, as far as what your temp or what your power settings are and how deep and how many pulses. Just go modest. It's okay. You don't have to wow anyone right off the bat. Once your staff's got more experience and they've done more, then use that protocol just as the jump off point, where now they can get a little more aggressive and really go for that wow result. And goal setting, I think, is enormous. I think both for before you buy a device or a machine, you got to think about what kind of revenue do I need to generate to make this worthwhile, and what does that mean? How many treatments do I need in the first month, the first 6 months? And some of us, we get all worked up and we think, man, this technology is great. I'm going to make $1 million in the first month. And we all know, okay, probably not. So staff, I do think it's very important to involve them in the goals, because when they're part of creating the goal, number one, they can maybe help ground you a bit as far as what their abilities are, and they all know their own schedules better than anybody. But don't be scared to adjust the goal, okay, because you don't know. So when you need to adjust the goal, if your employees have been in the process the whole time, they're not going to feel like you jerked the rug out from underneath of them. And so why would you adjust the goal? Well, it can go both directions. Sometimes you set the bar too high, and everyone knows it. And as you start doing these treatments, your staff starts losing motivation if they know, well, I'm never going to reach that goal. So then, productivity drops off. In the same regard, it could go the other direction. Maybe you went too conservative and you're going to be giving away the farm. Again, your staff will know both times. And in both cases, if they've been involved during the goal setting, they're not going to feel so put out when you have to adjust the goal a little bit. And to incentivize them, what we've done in our med spa is add competition in a fun way. Obviously, it's got to be fun and friendly, but I have not seen anything that has gotten our staff more juiced or energized about a goal about a goal than to get them in competition with each other. And I'm sure everyone has their own way of incentivizing staff, and it's whatever it can be, the entire revenue of the practice. It could be an individual treatment, but you throw this in there, they'll push even harder. And what we do is I actually get poker chips. That's a picture of our actual poker chips. Each color has a different meaning. One of them is for Google reviews. One of them is, for upsells on skincare. So either way, when they do it, they get to take one of those and put it in a glass jar, and it's clear on purpose, so everyone can see. Ooh, how many chips does Laura have in there? And
we actually have an office Karen, and her name is Karen, so we call her our office Karen. We love her, but she is a true definition of a Karen. And she makes sure with these see-through things that she'll count everybody else's chips and make sure that they are being honest and that she's not too far behind if she feels like she is. So for us, we find that incredibly entertaining. That alone, we find enjoyment in the office of doing friendly competition. Sometimes just watching our Karen.
Yeah, and you put these in a prominent spot, so every time somebody walks around, they're seeing these all the time. And I got to say, it really has taken off way more than I even thought this would do. It's really fun and highly recommended if you can come up with something similar to that.
So it can vary. I mean, for us at our office, we'll do like gift cards, or an actual gift, but it's not something that has to do with our office. Like we'll get them like a dinner gift card somewhere. So we have certain topics, and again, I'll ask them whether there's something that you're jonesing for, that you wouldn't necessarily buy for yourself. So I've known them for quite some time, so I kind of understand the kind of things they'd like, but you just kind of learn as you get to know them in time with those kinds of things, and you have like a little grand prize for each, we do it monthly, so at the end of each month.
But it's part of their compensation. I mean, it's just when they hit the goal, it can be money, it can be a gift card, it can be different things. So, but yeah.
So that goes into their follow through. Your goals and incentives are only as good as your follow through. So you do need to count them and then meet as a team, so that you can actually go over, see what worked, see what didn't work if you actually made your goals. For us, we do a lunch each time we have a meeting at the end of the month. And if we made our goals, then we will do what we call a lunch of fame. We will buy them a nice lunch within reason of whatever they want. If they don't make their goals and we have kind of a crappy month, then we'll have the lunch of shame. And it's pretty much, bologna and white bread. Either way, it's representation of success or not.
Either way, we're counting those chips. So, again, I don't think anything we've said today is ground shaking or something that people haven't heard before. It really, I think, comes down to the execution of it and the commitment to actually involve your staff. And truth be told, we've had the same staff for about 5 years, which is very unusual in aesthetics. So, this works for us. Because we know our staff, they know us, we got a good relationship with them. This may not be the case with you. You may have higher turnover, and so you may look at this and go, oh my God, how am I going to involve all these people that are coming and going in 6 months? Well, like I said, hopefully you can take some pearls out of this, and maybe you do have that ability to utilize this approach where you really do involve them, but it's just what we have found only helps us. And when we have involved them and our staff is motivated, it really is, I say half the battle. Shoot, it's more than half the battle when you're bringing on a new device. That is huge. When they're bought in and they know about the device and you've trained them, and then the device itself is the other half of the battle. I've never gone wrong with InMode. I have not. InMode produces results. It's safe. And with your staff, when you got those two, that engenders trust, and then they will talk about it and do it and not fight you on it. And so our job really is just to provide that framework for them of incentives and tracking and just give you the best chance of early success. So if you do all that, then who's the big winner sitting on that indoctrination stool? That's you. And one word we used indoctrination. I know it sounds like a negative word typically, but it started with I and we were using I's, so it had to be indoctrination, okay? But it's just drinking the Kool-Aid.
So, well, that being said, in sum, when you involve them from the start, inform them and provide them comprehensive education and incentivize them, have fun with it, everything goes to plan and you have your full indoctrination. So your staff will happily drink your Kool-Aid if they're the ones that helped you make it.
There you go.
The end.
Thank you. The end.